Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha with Ice Cream Fitness. It is time for part 2 of the Monday Q&A, so let's get to it. But hold on, let me give you guys a bicep shot first. Oh, and also I'm going to turn to the side here, even to where my back is kind of facing you, because I had somebody say in the comments this morning that I don't have an upper chest. And so you guys can see how tiny my little ass upper chest is from doing nothing but bench pressing. I don't do flies and I don't do incline. So let's get right into these questions. All right, speaking of chest, first question. Chest fat. Last to go, my abs are just about showing, but I am not losing fat off my motherfucking chest. I look like shit. But you have to remember, everybody has problem areas. You are always going to have problem spots due to your genetics, your hormone balance, things like that, where you're going to lose fat slower. They're going to be the last area to go. For me, it's my lower back and love handle area. I have to be under 9% body fat in order for my love handles to completely go away. 10% with ripped abs, I have love handles. And you're going to be the guy who still has man boobs at 10 or 11% body fat. The only thing you can do is continue to diet down. If you get lean enough, eventually your problem areas will lean out. And it's really that simple. All right, next question. How did you first get into bodybuilding / powerlifting? And when you first started juicing, what made you decide to cross over? I actually was really fat when I was 19, and I took up distance running in order to lose weight, and I lost like 100 pounds in a year as a distance runner. But as I was doing that, one, I always was a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I remember seeing Dorian Yates like in 1994 on TV winning a show, and I was just shocked at how he looked. And one of my mother's friends was a female competitive bodybuilder, and she looked at my structure and told me, you know, with your bone structure, if you started working out, you could do really well as a serious bodybuilder. And that got me thinking about it, and I started lifting weights, and I blew up immediately. So I ended up competing in a show like a year and a half after I started lifting weights. And even though I came in way over depleted, I took like 4th place. And I just kind of took it from there. And the reason I got into the gear originally was because nobody competed natural back then. Like, natural bodybuilding existed, but the guys I knew who did natural shows, when I chatted with them, they were like, well, I just use a little bit of steroids, not a lot, because I don't have to be as big to do well. And so they used stuff, and everybody used gear once they got to a certain level. Now, the guys back in our day used to tell you if you can't bench 300, squat 400, deadlift 500, and you go on juice, you're nothing but a fucking lazy pussy. And they would make fun of people who did. So, and that was the older, bigger guys in the gyms and things back then where I trained down in Texas. But outside of that, everybody, once they got to a certain level, went on. Everybody who competed, even in the natural bodybuilding, as they call it, or drug-tested powerlifting, they all used gear anyway. So for me, it wasn't really an option to stay natural if I wanted to be serious, and I wanted to be a monster. I saw pictures of Dorian Yates back then, and I said, hey, that's what I want to look like. So for me, it was an obvious choice. All right, next question. Best forearm exercises for hypertrophy. Outside of just general heavy pulling and just your normal compound movements, I would say wrist curls. It's hard to beat wrist curls for forearm hypertrophy. I like dumbbells personally so that you keep things a little more balanced, and you need to do a lot of reps with them. I find personally that my forearms have never responded to low reps. I mean, I can do triples and get 30-inch thighs on 3-rep squats, but I cannot get big forearms off low reps. And so for me, it's just high rep forearm curls. Just wrist curls with dumbbells. It always works really well for me when I want to bring my forearms up. And it's pretty hard to beat that. All right, next question. What program would you recommend for someone who isn't interested in strength gains and is happy with 16-inch arms and aesthetics? Well, what I would say is that if you want to get any reasonable amount of muscle without strength gains, you're going to have to use steroids. You're not going to meet any reasonably big natural bodybuilders who aren't also strong. I have never seen a guy with an impressive physique in my entire life who could only bench 225 for a couple reps or squat 315 for a rep or two. I've never seen anybody in my life drug-free who had those type of lifts, who had what I would even consider a remotely impressive natural physique. Anyone who I've ever seen with those type of numbers just looked like a skinny fucking toothpick. Not aesthetic, not 16-inch arms, they look like a toothpick. But you might have different standards than me. So I would say the strength, you can't disregard strength. You can either focus a bit on strength as a natural, or you can disregard strength and go on gear. But I mean, unless you want to look like Ian McCarthy or someone as a natural, you're going to have to train for strength. But as far as just having, say, a 16-inch arm and being aesthetic with nice abs, any intermediate power builder or bodybuilder routine will get you there. Start on a novice routine, switch over to an intermediate at the appropriate time, and that will get you there. That's not really advanced goals, so you never need to go to an advanced program. You would never need fat. But anything from 531 power building to Alberto Nunez's intermediate program, anything like that will easily get you to your goal, and then you just diet down to the appropriate leanness. And you have to remember that your ab aesthetics and all of that is purely going to be a matter of getting lean enough. So I don't have specific recommendations. Any intermediate routine will get you to your goal, to your in-game goal. You don't really have to pick only one. All right, next question. Favorite superhero? Batman. Absolutely Batman. I love Batman. Now, I like other superheroes for the idea, like Superman and others, but as far as just actual character and the persona, I think Batman is number one. All right, last question. What are your thoughts on static contraction training? Wow. I remember the book on this. I bought this book, and it was such a piece of horseshit. I would have to say that static contraction training from a scientific perspective and an exercise science perspective, as far as its uses outside of very, very, very limited uses as supplemental exercises, is probably one of the worst training concepts I have ever seen, short of the systems where they tell female lifters that they shouldn't pick up anything over 3 pounds. It's not quite as bad as that, but it's pretty close. And I think it's a waste of time. I think it's silly. It doesn't work that way when we study it in exercise science. I've never seen anybody use one of these full static contraction training programs and not lose muscle and strength from doing it. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you next time.